There we go. So if you have blocks or bolsters or pillows, towels, blankets, sleeping bags, couch cushions, you name it, any of those can be used to support several of the postures. For one particular shape, we're going to take a blanket or a towel will be preferable because we're going to roll it up lengthwise. So other than that, I'm looking forward to practicing with you tonight. And we'll begin promptly at 7:30. You might see cats running around. We have an orange tabby. Her name's Pumpkin. We have a black and white tuxedo kitty with long hair. Her name's Mambo. And because we didn't pay close enough attention, her daughter is Samba. So she's long-haired as well, but she's a tortoiseshell long-haired. And then we have a little calico with half a tail, but that's how she was born, and her name is Rumba. So they might pay us a visit as we practice tonight. I have the doors open to my space, so you might hear a little bit of water from the fountain, the pond, and you might hear birds or a wind chime. So those are things that you might hear in my space. You might hear some cats having disagreements about things. All right, well, it's 7:30. Welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Jennifer Dietz, and I'm a Warriors at Ease teacher. It is my pleasure to join you tonight for half an hour of restorative practice. I am on the heels of a day spent busting up concrete, so we're going to pay attention to upper body tonight. I hope it serves you, if not in this moment, then some other time when you might have done a little more than you ought to have with your upper body. So let's join each other on our mats in a seated position. And this might be your first opportunity to use a prop. You can sit on a block or a blanket. I've chosen two. So I'm going to take my seat on a blanket and a towel folded up. And this allows us to sit with our legs crossed and to have opening in our hips that we otherwise might not, depending on how tight you are. So the purpose of our restorative practice is to spend a little more time in each posture so that we fall a little more deeply into ease. And we remind ourselves that rest is an important part of work. So taking your seat, notice your surroundings. Before we began, I mentioned that you will hear wind chimes possibly and a water feature in our yard, and you might see cats coming and going. Check in with your space and make sure that you know what you're going to hear as the evening wears on, and just feel comfortable in the space you've chosen to practice. And once you can tune into yourself and into the practice away from your surroundings, notice the way you are in contact with the surface below you. And maybe you're elevated on some blocks, or as I am on a blanket, or on a bolster. And at the same time, you feel yourself grounding down and connected with the surface below you. Feel your body lifting up and lengthening, reaching the crown of your head up high to the ceiling. And in that act, you straighten your spine, you draw tension into your abdomen, and you really Feel strength and feel supported, not just in your seat, but all the way along your spine. Let's start to bring some movement now into our body. So keeping your hands on your knees, draw the front of your shoulders toward your hips and let your back bow or bow out to the back and round over. You can rock back on your hips. And from the side, this looks like this. So we're rounding our back and into our seated cat position, like a cat that's scared. And then we'll come forward, bringing the back of our shoulders toward our hips, opening across the front, easing forward into your seat for your seated cow. And you'll move through this shape, cat and cow, a few times with your own breath. So move through cat and cow 2 or 3 more times. Paying attention to the way the spine curves, open in the front and open in the back. Great. And your next time in neutral, stop for a moment and notice the way your breath rises and falls. You can close your eyes for any of these activities, or you can cast your eyes down if that helps you to draw your attention in. Or of course, you can look at your screen, whatever serves your practice. So let's move side to side to bring some opening to the side of our spine. Place your right hand down by your side and reach your left hand up toward the ceiling. Maybe take a look at your fingers. And reach up and then fold over to the right so that the left side of your body, from your pinky finger all the way to your left hip, which is still grounded down and in contact with the surface below you. So all the way on your side body. Bend your right elbow to allow that stretching to happen. And then come back through center and allow your left hand to come by your left hip. Reach your right hand up, take a look, and then fold over to the left. And as you make these sideways motions, keep your hips and shoulders in the same plane so that you offer your side body the most opportunity to stretch. Reach back through center. Let your right hand come back by your side. Let your left hand come up and over. And in this fluid shape, go with your own breath 2 or 3 more times, releasing one hand and following the other to find length in your side body. The next time you come through center, let your hands be still by your side. Notice your breath. Now, with your next inhale, bring your hands out by your side and up together so that they face each other overhead. Your biceps by your ears, your hands facing each other. Finding strength throughout your torso, turn to your right, and then lower your hands, allowing your right hand to come behind your right hip, your left hand to come on your knee. And with your inhale, you rise up, and with your exhale, you ease a little more into your twist. There are no prizes for more or less twisting, so really honor what your body's offering you tonight. It might be more or less than you get on a different night. Now with your next inhale, we're going to go back to center, hands facing each other, and now twist to your left. And at the extent of your twist, lower your hands. Left hand behind your left hip, right hand on your knee. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, ease into your twist. You can keep your chin in line with your chest so that, there's little advantage to twisting your head all the way around. Come back through center. Let's do that one more time on the right side. Twist and lower your hands. Rise up with an inhale and ease into your twist. And maybe it feels a little bit different this time. With your next inhale, come back through center. And now turn to your left and lower your hands. Inhale, rise, and exhale, ease. Come back through center, hands overhead. Let's press palms together and draw your hands in front of your face, bringing your elbows together. And then end with your hands at heart center. And here's where you might want to set an intention for the remainder of your practice, or maybe focus on a phrase that helps you get into the work you're doing. One for me is right here, right now. It's my privilege to be right here, right now with you. All right, let's let that go. And please join me, hands and knees, tabletop position. You can remove your seat if you chose to be on a bolster. And then you'll take your knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders. Draw your belly in and find strength in your abdomen. So before we do much more, we're going to press our hips back toward our ankles, and then take your right hand and allow the back of your hand to be in contact with the surface below you. This might make for some interesting geometry in your body. Just allow the top of your hand to come fully into contact with the surface below you. Keep your belly tight. Make this sort of a whole body effort. What we're trying to do is bring some opening into both sides of the wrist. We do a lot of flexed hand work, so we're just going to offer a little resistance onto the other side of our wrist. We're not pressing hard. We're just allowing a little bit of gravity to work on that. Now release and bring some movement into your wrist. Place your right hand down, flex, and allow the top of your left hand to come in contact with the mat. Again, there's no form to honor except what your body allows. As some of you probably have as well, had various parts of your body worked on, that I have an artificial spacer in my thumb joint. So this is a shape I try regularly to keep some good flexibility in there. Again, all we're doing is offering a little bit of contrary motion to what we tend to do. So let's release that and come back to our flexed position. You can rise up onto your knees again. And now send your right foot back so that your toes are flexed. Leg is straight, toes are flexed. Press your heel toward the back wall, so that you can feel the back side of your leg, primarily against your calf, stretching. Now ease up out of that press, keeping the toes flexed, lower the knee to the mat. So this should feel like your toes are getting a little bit of stretching, and they are. You might have bunions, might have crazy stuff going on with your toes. Do what's available. We're just going to be here for a moment. Check in with your belly. You still engaged? All right, let's straighten the leg again, press the heel, and then we'll lower the knee down to the mat. Shifting your weight, send your left foot back. Toes are curled under. Press your left heel toward the back wall. Feel that stretch on the back side of your leg. Ease forward and then lower your left knee to the mat, keeping your toes curled. So this is a gentle stretch on our toes. All right, now press your legs straight and then bring your knee back underneath. Let's shift back onto our heels and reach our hands forward for our first fallen leaf. We should feel our belly against our thighs as we fold forward, maybe bringing our head down to the mat, maybe bringing our head down to our stacked hands. And pause here for just a moment. Those of you who are familiar with child's pose may recognize this as a variant. Sometimes child's pose is offered with knees toward the edges of the mat, legs wide. This is a closer position. Release your hands back, press up, back into a tabletop position. Now we're going to thread the needle and get into some shoulder and back opening. So I'm going to turn away from you for the first part of this, but I'll be facing for the second. Shift your weight into your left hand and both knees. Release your right hand and spiral open. And then send your right hand through the space created by your left hand, left knee, and lower your shoulder down to the mat. Lower your cheek. And here is where you can stay, or you can send your left hand straight ahead of you on the floor. So this is our thread the needle. And we'll stay here for at least a minute. And as you stay in this posture, notice where you are actively holding and see if you can release that work and let gravity take over so that you can find a nice opening across your shoulders in the back. Your hips are stacked over your knees. Your shoulder is on the ground, your head is resting on the ground, and your left hand is either propped ahead of you, or if it's preferable to you, can wrap it around behind. So there's no work you need to do. Everything is positioned in such a way that you can remain here for a nice long while. And sometimes it takes a minute or two for you to release that active control. And then you can really feel your muscles softening. Let's ease ourselves out of that. Walk your left hand back under your shoulder. Press into your left hand, releasing your right, and spiral open. And now replace your right hand back down on the mat. I'm going to turn around. You stay right where you are. We'll do that on the left side now. So place your weight into your right hand. Release your left hand and spiral open. Maybe your left and right sides are different. Thread your left hand through the space created on the right. Lower your shoulder, lower your cheek, And then release your right hand either forward or wrap it around behind you, whatever serves your practice tonight. And again, we just stack ourselves and then we let gravity work. A couple hours of sledgehammering work, and this definitely feels really nice. The sad part is I made a 3-foot wide gap in the sidewalk, and it needs to be 10 feet. So for me, the restorative practice is getting ready for more work tomorrow. All right, let's walk the right hand back under the shoulder, press in and spiral open, and then place your hand back on the mat. I'm going to turn back around to where most of my props are. From this tabletop position now, we'll try fallen leaf with some support. So bring your knees together, your toes together. They can be flexed or flat. You'll lower your torso onto your thighs as you bring your hips back toward your heels. And then you'll fold forward and allow your cheek to come onto your support, whether it's pillows or blocks. There's any number of ways you can be supported in this fallen leaf posture. If you release your hands to the rear, palms up, you can release the tension in your shoulders. And if you have your cheek on the right, you may want to switch it to the left or vice versa. Notice which side you prefer habitually and attend to making sure you offer equal opportunity on the other side for balance. Of course, this can be done without support, but by having support, your hips tend to be a little closer to your heels. Depends on what you're after. Let's bring our hands up on your shoulders and press up onto a seat where our feet are underneath us. This is our staff pose. So we're on our knees, on our feet. So this might be a little challenging for ankles. We're just going to be here for just a moment. And now let's come around to a seat. And while we're doing that, take your towel or your blanket and roll it up so that you can put it along the center line of your back. So bring your knees into a 90-degree fold. Place your rolled up blanket or towel right behind your back, and lower yourself slowly onto it so that when you come down, your head can be just barely off or can be supported by it or another of your props. I like the sensation of a little more openness. You can do put up another blanket like that under your head for support. So once we're here, we have our knees folded, our spine is along our towel or blanket is right in the center of our back, and bring your hands up overhead, palms together so you can see your hands in front of your face. And now open your hands to the side, palms up. So this should allow some nice opening across your entire arm to fingertip. If it's a little too aggressive, you can always bend your arms into cactus. So as we settle in for this nice chest opening, where everything from sternum to middle finger is invited to open, you can experiment with allowing your legs to extend straight in front, so that you are lengthwise on your mat, straight, but raised up on your blanket with your arms wide. Your gaze can be up toward the ceiling, or you can close your eyes and just notice the way gravity is opening across the front side of your body. As you breathe, notice how even though you're stretched out, there's still more room. Breath will find a way. All right, as we prepare to move into our final shape, let's ease out of this by bringing your feet to the mat, if you haven't already done so. And then bring your elbows to your side. Decide which direction you're going to go, left or right. If you're going to go to the right, shift your hips a little to the left, and then roll off of your support. And then remove your rolled up blanket or towel and just put it out of the way. Allow your head to be cradled on your folded arm, and place your top arm in front of your chest for support. So you're curled up on your side. We'll return to this posture when we come out of our relaxation. But for now, you press yourself back onto your back. And if you'd like to, you can grab that same towel or another blanket or even a nice pile of pillows. And tonight, let's elevate our legs for our final relaxation. You can go straight if you like. You can just lie down flat on the mat. You could put your legs up the wall, or you can do as I'm doing and place some support under your legs so that when you lie down and let go of any tension, your legs are elevated. It could be on these pillows or blocks, any of the supports you have. So once you get situated, stay where you are. I will return to a seated position and do a little bit of a body scan meditation for you. So as you find yourself getting comfortable in your reclining posture, whether you've supported your legs with a pillow or bolster blanket, or whether you've chosen to stay flat on your mat, notice that from your head to your toes, or your heels probably, you are completely supported. So that is to say that you're not going to fall off of anything. So let's start with the toes. Wiggle your toes and then let them be still. Notice the arch of your feet and your ankles, inside the ankle, right behind the ankle. Feel the ankle bone, the Achilles tendon. Come up your lower leg and tuck in behind your kneecap and let any tension that's hanging out there go. Let your attention come up the IT band, the outside edge of your leg. And as you connect with your hip, can you allow your leg to be loose in your hip joint so that you're not holding on to it? And you can really ease into this final relaxation. And what about your low back and each of your ribs as you draw your attention up to your shoulders? You feel them moving only with the breath and not because of effort. And as your attention goes down your arms, notice you're inside your elbows and inside each finger. Let it be soft. And behind your neck, behind your ears, the inside corner of your eyes, the outside edges of your nose, corners of your mouth, your hairline, let them all be soft. And in this softness and place of ease, be still for the next. If you have the luxury of remaining where you are and savoring a longer relaxation, please do. If you need to get on with your day, we've reached the end of our practice. So you can roll over to that same side or maybe the opposite side and then press up into a seat as we conclude our practice. So I want to thank you for joining me tonight for the restorative class as part of Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Jennifer Dietz. Again, I'm a Warriors of Ease teacher, and it is my privilege to practice with you in health, resilience, and connection. If you'd like to contribute, please follow the link below so that we can continue to offer classes like this. And we welcome you anytime, and we appreciate your being here. See you next week. Bye.